Hello, and welcome to the NerdCast. Today, we are going to be doing our top 5 Illumination movies, since we already did our top 5 Pixar movies. And, Grayson, we should also do our top 5 DreamWorks movies, too, soon.
Oh, yeah, DreamWorks has, just Shrek.
And Kung Fu Panda 2, which is a masterpiece. But yeah. So I'll kick the list off, and before that, I'm just going to say my general opinion on Illumination.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying my
he
general opinion.
He doesn't like it that much
I don't.
Because they think they have mediocre movies.
But I do think they have some good films.
Movies.
I do think they have some good films. So my number 5 is Despicable Me 2. So, my number 4 and 5, I don't think are that good movies, but I think they're enjoyable. I don't think they're I do think they're enjoyable. I feel like the second actually, hold on. I'm actually going to move Despicable Me 2 up the list. And
we have actually had literally 4 out of the 5 to just be Despicable Me movies, including the Minions.
But my real number 5 is Secret Life of Pets. So, Secret Life of Pets.
That was a better movie than Despicable Me 2.
I don't think so. I think Secret Life of Pets is a very simple idea but I do think I'm talking about just Secret Life of Pets 2 because I actually like it more than the first one. I feel like the first one has repetitive storylines and not very good the characters aren't that good.
Storylines.
I feel like it has so many cliches. Like the traditional, we have a fight over nothing breakup, and then they break up for 10 minutes, and then they meet each other again. But I think the second one doesn't have as many cliches. I think it's a much better film. I think it's a funnier film. I think it's just a wild ride. It's literally just like a drug trip.
Well, the second one is really good, but the first one's great too.
But yeah, my number 5, Secret Life of Pets, just for being it's just an entertaining family film that, it feels like you just took a strip of acid and you just watch a bunch of dogs do crazy things for the next 2 hours.
That is not true.
No, I think it's just a blast of a film, just a great comedy where just a bunch of crazy things happen.
Okay, then why is it number 5?
Because I think the other films are better.
And it's not really that crazy. It actually does kind of have a good story,
It does have a good
story. The snake thing.
Has a good story.
Gangs.
Yeah, I think it's a good film. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
But better than Despicable Me 2. Come on.
Despicable Me 2 is great. It's one of the best.
Despicable Me 2 isn't that good.
Okay, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is... Here, let me check real quick. It's Despicable Me.
The first one? That's your number 5?
Yeah.
The original?
No, not the first one.
Okay.
Number 2.
Oh, the second one. Okay.
I don't actually have the other ones on the list because I kind of feel like it would be obvious to have a bunch of Despicable Me's on my list.
Wait, you don't have the first one?
No, because I just feel like if I would have the first one, I would have the other ones because they're such good films. Just like how we didn't have Minecraft in the 19th video. Because it was just obvious it would be the first one.
Okay.
And I want, room for the other ones.
So you think Despicable Me 2 is the best Despicable Me film?
Oh, no.
Then why is it your number 5?
It was one of the worst.
Then why is it your number 5? Why not?
Because it's one of the worst.
So, wait. Then why is it your number 5?
The other ones would have been way higher on the list.
Then...
But, everyone knows what Despicable Me is.
You should have just counted it, because now you just... If you're not doing this, you got rid of, their only really, actually phenomenal original film. It's there, in my opinion, okay, continue.
Well, I just needed a filler for number 5, because I have really good movies up here, and I just needed a bad, one of the okay movies.
Then put Hop on your list.
No, Hop is terrible.
Hop is garbage. But continue with...
But that's not even an okay movie. That's why I put Despicable Me.
Then put, Secret Life of Pets or something. Or Lorax. But, okay, continue.
Oh, Lorax isn't that good. It's okay.
I think
Not
it's
that
terrible.
Good. Not better than Despicable Me 2.
I just watched a video about how it could have
Okay.
been, like, much better. They, like, cut out an entire song that could have, like, completely, like, made it a much better movie by, like, having much better messages and much better lines, like, about the Onceler. And, of course, that song got replaced by How Bad Can I Be, which is an awful song. So, but yeah, are you going to talk about Despicable Me too?
Oh yeah, Despicable Me 2. I say it's okay, but the other ones are extremely good. That's why it's lower on the list. The other one, is a part of the Despicable Me universe, aka the Minions. So the Minions is a part of the universe, but technically doesn't have, Gru, and it's not called Despicable Me. So.
Okay.
Well, is a good movie.
My number 4 is Despicable Me 2. I think it's a really good film. I think it's better than Secret Life of Pets, just because I think it has more interesting characters. It's one of the few Illumination films that, like, has really good characters, and I feel like it grips you, and I don't think they're as good as they were in the first film, but I do think the second film is better than the third film, and Minions. So, yeah.
The film was the disco one with the scene where he spoiled in 2-1. You know the gum scene where he covers his penis?
Yes.
That was really good.
Okay. So yeah, my number 4 is Despicable Me 2 because I think it's a really good sequel to the original, but I don't think it's better. But I do think it's a really good film. So yes, what is your number 4?
My number 4, like I said, the Minions. The Minions technically isn't part of Despicable Me series, but it is it's not a part of that series, but it is in the same universe. It's like a spin-off movie, and I really liked it. And I feel like all the, moms did too, with their memes about Minions on Facebook.
Cringiest memes I've ever seen.
But, it was a really good family film. What are you, Braden?
My chair fell over, kind of. Sorry, my chair. Continue.
I feel like it was a really good family movie, and I feel like, we've had a lot of bad family movies, like, when that movie was released. Mm-hmm. Like, we had, the dogs, the Queen's
Corgi.
Dog?
The Queen's Corgi.
That was...
I don't think it was that bad.
Watch that because it just looked so bad.
I thought it had a funny Donald Trump cameo.
It's kind of like the normal story.
I think the Donald Trump cameo was funny.
I've watched multiple movies that are just like that, like of rich kids or really spoiled, and then go to a place where a bunch of kids aren't spoiled. There's one movie, I forgot the name of it, but it's about a really rich kid who goes and hangs out with the poor kids, and then something bad happens to him. Exactly what the Queen's Corgi is almost all about. And visiting the poor dogs and bad things happening to them.
Okay, so my number 3 is...
But, no, wait, I'm not done.
Oh.
And that's why Minions is so good for the time bad movies were coming out for families. And it was just a really good break from all the terrible family movies.
Okay, so yeah, Minions is fine. Good film. Decent, enjoyable, humorous. Not as good as Secret Life of Pets 2, I don't think. But my number 3 is, I think, their Illumination's funniest film. Sing. Sing doesn't really have a groundbreaking story or very interesting characters, but darn it, is it pretty creative and pretty fun. It's just a fun, enjoyable movie. It's not a masterpiece, but it's a solid 8 out of 10. It's a good film, good characters, interesting arcs for each of the characters, and it's very, very funny. I could watch the scene with the mom pig in the grocery store all day. So yeah, Sing. is good. I don't think it's as good as my top
Better
two.
really good movies as your top two. If you put Sing that low. Okay, but my
Number 3 is not low. Number 3 is good.
My number 3 is The Grinch.
Get out. I'm flabbergasted. How? Okay, continue.
The Grinch is a really good movie.
At number 3?
Yeah, like you said, number 3 is good.
I shouldn't have said that.
I used your own word again.
I shouldn't have said that because it's not
Sing
good
is
for
great.
Grinch.
The Grinch is a really good movie, but I feel like it doesn't stack up to my number 2 and 1. This is probably his number 1 because he loves The Grinch. But I didn't really like The Grinch that much. It surprised me, like, quite a bit of being how good as it was, because I heard someone say it reminded them of The Grinch, like the old Grinch, the real life, the IRL Grinch. And that movie
I love that
terrible.
movie.
I don't like that movie at all.
I like
The Grinch
it.
is disgusting.
It's terrible, but
and
I
it
think
literally
it's funny.
just has like a story. It's every other story.
I don't.
And it's not too much like the actual story. And the actual story, it's like, you know, heartwarming things. Oh, he's a part of everyone. But in that thing, he was like a disgusting thing. That he was so gross in that movie.
That's kind of the point, though. I really like that film.
And he ate
I really
glass.
like that film.
Like, what the heck?
I really like that film.
But the Grinch movie, the new one, is a really good movie. And like Burton said, 3 is okay. It's
I disagree
a really
with
good
myself.
movie. And Illumination has a lot of movies, so it's a really good
Yeah,
movie.
it doesn't actually. It only has like 10 movies. Doesn't have, or it is a newer company. I think Despicable Me was their first movie. I think that came out in like 2010. So they have pumped out quite a few movies in just like 10 years. So still not as many as like DreamWorks, but they're older.
Year.
But
I
yeah.
love how you said pumped out. Oh yeah.
My number 2 was very hard. It was very hard to choose between these two movies, but I'm giving my number 2 to The Grinch because I think that it has a better story than my number 1. But I'll get to that. So Grinch is just a really good movie. It's probably the best DreamWorks movie, but I went with my number 1 because it's their like best original movie. But I really like Grinch. I think it's a great movie. I think it has a good message. I don't think it's as good as, of course, the original movie or the original book. But I think it's better than the live-action one. But I really do like the live-action one on an ironic level. I think it's an enjoyable film. But it's just a really good movie, a really good retelling of the Grinch storyline with beautiful animation. It is the best animated, like, Illumination film by far. The animation is stunning. But yeah. What is your number 1? I think I know what your number 1 is.
Oh, no, number 2.
Your number 2.
My number 2 is Life of Pets. Life of Pets, this is 1 and 2. So it's like both of them combined, and that's why it's so high. If it was just one of them, it wouldn't be that high. But Life of Pets 1 and 2 is a really good movie. He said it's repetitive. What's really
repetitive... The first
repetitive
one is, I think.
Is the King's Corgi, because
we're not talking about the King's Corgi.
I know we're not talking about that right now, but that movie sucked. I didn't even watch it because it was like I literally watched a video reviewing the story, and it was terrible. Okay, but anyway, it was not repetitive. It has a great storyline about dogs, and they're actually like dogs. And some movies, like if you guys have watched the series of the Super Dogs, you watch those things, like there's one thing where like there's one movie about the dogs where they get like these little rings around them and they get like superpowers. There's another one. So there's like a few dogs. There's Butter, who's like, I think is like named peanut butter or something like that. And he's like a really fat dog who eats a lot of things. Then there's another one who's like a girl dog. That's basically how to explain them. They're like they're the casual teen girl. Then there's this other one who I forgot his name, who really likes like Buddhism. There's another one that plays basketball, and then like I think a leader of the group who's just like kind of just a normal dog. Have you seen those movies?
What movie?
The one that I just explained.
Secret Life of Pets?
No, those dog movies.
No. But Secret
You
Life...
haven't?
No, Secret...
Okay, but
Wait,
those movies are really good movies, and I feel like that movie was really like it in multiple ways. But that I'm talking about number one in particular right now. It was a really good movie that felt like those movies, and those movies were great movies. They're on Netflix, by the way. But part
Grinch?
2 is a really good movie that continues on that story and makes
movie.
the main dog feel like a man. He gets his balls back.
Wait, but above Grinch?
Because Rooster. Yeah, it's 1 and 2 combined. I told you that earlier.
I don't think one's that good. I think 1's enjoyable, but I don't think I think 2 is a much better film. Much better.
I forgot what really happens in 2.
It's
but
just
I
funny.
rewatched
It's
1
just a funny,
recently,
fun
why.
drug trip. But 1 is not that good. I don't think 1 deserves to be that high.
Oh yeah, 2 is kind of like the aftermath of part 1, in my opinion. And it was more enjoyable, because like, the bunny got his home. He finally gets brave through like main dog. They start being friends. It's like Toy Story 2. It's just like kind of in some ways the aftermath, but then its own movie at the same time. And
Don't
better
compare
than
them
the
to
first
Toy
one.
Story.
What?
Don't compare them to Toy Story. Toy Story doesn't deserve
But
that.
that's why they're my number 2.
Okay, well, Fletcher, hey Fletcher,
Fletcher.
go away, we're recording.
Okay, so Rusty, you
No,
got
no.
But yeah,
What is your number 1?
my number 1 is, I am shocked that you're not going to put this on your list, because you said, oh, it would be too obvious because everybody knows. But it's just DreamWorks.
Despicable Me.
Yes, my number 1's Despicable Me. But you should put it on your list because it's just DreamWorks' best movie.
I know, but
it's
that would be like
just-
my whole movie. Like, every single one of them would be
Why?
like the
4
biggest
is
ones, like the Minecraft list. It would be obviously the top ones. They're great movies.
Well,
Way too good.
Well, yeah, but Illumination.
the
Hold
smaller
on.
movies.
The argument for that is obviously Minecraft was kicked off that list because it would be too obvious and take up
Yeah,
the
because
spot
these
of
were
all
way
those
too
good
easy.
movies. But I feel like since Illumination has less good movies and this is a top 5 where we can have more on the list, I don't
I
get.
put at least one Despicable Me.
And it was actually it's a really good movie, but. Why? But also, why would Despicable Me be your
Part
entire
Two is a
list?
good movie, but it's not
Because
that good.
I feel like the
That's other
only
ones, 'cause the other
Despicable...
ones are way too
So
good.
you'd put Despicable Me 3 on your list if you were adding them?
2.
But, no, would you put 3 on there? 3's
it would
not that
probably
good.
be-
3's
Yeah, 3's not that good.
Yeah, so you should have put it on your list, because obviously Despicable Me 2 is the... I mean, Despicable Me 1
1
is the best
is
one.
the second.
Well,
Well, actually, now that I think about it, I should have changed my list.
Yeah,
But
you
anyway.
should have. Okay, but yeah, Despicable Me is an amazing film. I think Grinch is better. I think Grinch has a better story, but the only reason I put Despicable Me ahead of Grinch, despite being a worse movie, is because it's Illumination's best original movie. Grinch was basically already pre-written for them. They just had to add some things and add some jokes. But with Despicable Me, they came up with their own original movie, and it was a really good movie. I think it is their only movie that like almost cracks a 9 out of 10. I don't think I'd give it a 9 out of 10, but I'd give it a solid 8.5. It's a really good movie with really good characters. I think it's their only one to me that feels like not a child's movie. Well, and Grinch. Grinch and Despicable Me are the only ones that don't feel like child's movies. They feel like great movies, and but that are like have very interesting characters. And I know you don't like Pixar that much, but to me, they feel like Pixar movies. Well, yeah, they do. They feel like Pixar movies, and that's a compliment in my
They
book.
kind of feel like dream movies.
Oh yeah, actually no, they feel like DreamWorks movies, and that's a compliment to me. Yeah, because DreamWorks is really good.
DreamWorks is great.
But yeah, so yeah, my number one is Despicable Me, just because of how like it's their best original film, which I think makes it their best film because Grinch was already pre-written for them. So would Despicable Me 1 be your number one if you were counting it?
Okay. No, probably Despicable Me 2 because I want to redo the list because Despicable Me, I kind of forgot what really happens. And I just had a flashback of what happens and I really enjoyed Despicable Me 2.
Okay, well what's your number one?
Okay, you're gonna freak out about this. You know, when you say something I don't really agree with, I'm like, okay, but it's that low or it's that high. I just say that, then you freak out. So you're really gonna rant about this one. Sing being my number one.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I kind of get
Sing
it.
is a good movie.
It is.
It's probably, like, besides Despicable Me, it's probably one of their, well, it definitely is one of their biggest solo movies. It's a huge solo movie that a lot of people have watched. It was a huge hit, and it did good in the box office. And it deserves it. It's a good movie.
It is. It's a very funny movie. Great idea.
And it also, like, it just has really good writing, great characters. And all in all, I feel like you should have put it higher on your list because you didn't really give it as much respect.
I put it at number 3. I
gave
gave it respect. I gave it respect. It's a really good
It was
movie.
a good movie.
But not as good as Grinch and not as good as
Okay.
Despicable Me.
Well, I'm
So.
going to do the ending.
Go, do it.
Ready?
Yep.
And this time I won't screw up because I finally got it.
Oh yeah, and honorable mentions. I have no honorable mentions. Sorry.
My honorable mentions is Shrek, which is a DreamWorks film.
Sure, my honorable
So-
mentions is Avengers Endgame.
My honorable mentions is Batman, the 60s show.
the Polar Express. I don't
The
know.
Kroogs.
Okay, so this has been
And
NerdCast.
Joe Kazooie, too. Okay,